Welcome to the Sports Unfolded Just for Kicks soccer show. We're gonna have a great one today. I'm your host Ron Rego, and I've got David Borts with me again. How you doing, David?
I'm doing absolutely, or one of my old teachers say, excellent or perfect. Good day, good time for soccer right now, and we've got some great stuff to talk about what's going on with our league, RIFC, and a little follow up on that fundraiser for Cape Verde. And I've got some really good news, which we'll share with you, and eventually we'll share a link, hopefully, from RIFC over the next week on a fundraiser.
Very good, very good.
Yeah.
Like he said, we've got some RIFC, we've got some Rhode Island Super Cup, we've got some men's soccer for the Team USA, we get some roster talk, and of course, we'll give you an update on that Cape Verde situation. But you are watching us on YouTube, Rumble, and Kick at Rhode Island Broadcasting. You're always watching us live there. You can also watch us live on Twitch at RI_broadcasting. And there you can send us bits. So 2 bits from you lets us put in our 2 cents. So that makes it nice and simple. You can also listen to the show on Spotify, RedCircle, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio at RIBroadcasting. And if you want to support the show a lot, then you can donate at RedCircle. So get on there, listen to the show at work, listen to the show, when you're trying to relax, there's all kinds of ways. You can also follow all of our social media like TikTok, MeWe, Blue Sky, Gab, Parler at Rhode Island Broadcasting. Just RI Broadcasting. You can go look that up, and all those platforms and many more. There's Space A, there's all kinds. You can also go to follow us on Twitch/X, whatever you want to call it, at Broadcasting RI, and you can follow us there with a whole bunch of other people as well. And you can also find the show on RhodeIslandBroadcasting.net. You can go there. You can support the show. You can see, where to find, David on his normal daily things in Rhode Island Soccer, so you can keep tabs on him there. So get on all that stuff and follow us, support the show, so that way we stick around forever. Ever. So, David, all right. I think the most important thing is to find out about this Cape Verde, the donations and stuff like that. What do you got for us on this?
Okay. Some good, up-to-date, interesting news. I'm actually just getting a name of something. 1 second. Okay, so between Kaba Joof, who's not on this week, but he and I, along with the managers of 4 Cape Verdean teams that play in our league, had a meeting last Friday night in a little sports bar in Pawtucket off on Broadway, up near South Attleboro. It's actually quite a nice place.
What's the name of the place?
I'll give you the name. It's Zona 7. It's at 605 Broadway in Pawtucket.
I've been there. It's beautiful in there.
Yeah, they're like about 5 large screen TVs. They've got broadcasting from about 5 different apps and some overseas networks. There are soccer games there. They're going to do a little basketball, but I think they're mostly soccer. We had a meeting
the place
there
across from Dunkin' Donuts, right?
I'm not sure. I think
kind of diagonally.
It could be. Yeah,
over there too.
Yeah, and so we had a long meeting for, I'd say, about an hour and a half, and between Kaba I and one of the guys who runs one of the teams, Ernesto Lopes, who has been playing ball in our leagues for a long time, I'm pretty friendly with. I also had there was an invite out to one of the people who tries to do outreach to do tournaments from RIFC. Couldn't make it, but we were texting throughout the meeting. And the real conclusion is this. One, we all know there's a tremendous need for goods, home stuff, building supplies, tools, There are, and the way things for the last 20, 25 years that people got stuff back to their family back in Cape Verde is they'd send containers on ships. So at least we're going to be doing some fundraising also through our RIFC, which I'll talk about. There are going to be 8 containers that are going to be going out to Cape Verde in a couple of weeks, at least just on the container cost for shipment. It's going to be about $7 or $8 grand, but we're also taking in products to put in them. But the cost of the shipping is not cheap. Amazingly enough, given how big the Atlantic is, it's about an 8-day trip, and they'll be there.
Yeah.
First priority is going to be to fund those ships, but second priority is going to be funding. And we have tracked down at least one nonprofit where we can put the money into. In disaster times, money can go to funny places sometimes. So we're being very careful. Rhode Island Soccer Association is a nonprofit. And so, we're a good conduit, but we're going to be getting the money to some nonprofits that are actually doing the work on the ground in Cape Verde. The real good news is this. And I'd say I've got oral confirmation, but it should be written. And when I have it in electronic fashion, I'm going to share it with Ron. RIFC has a game on September 13th at Centerville Bank Stadium. Post-game, the first ever Rhode Island Super Cup All-Star Select Team game will take place with the best players from all of the teams in our league on the pitch, on the field, in the stadium.
Wow.
We're in the process of putting the teams together, picking some coaches, finally clarifying, because this is, listen, as anybody knows, you don't put a pickup game in Gillette Stadium, especially with the ownership there, without probably dropping $1 million on them. But the cost of opening the stadium is not insignificant. But I want to give some thanks, first of all, to Dave Pert, the president.
Yeah.
He's going to help make it happen. I want to give some thanks also to somebody who I just sent off an article from Soccer America to you about a half hour ago, Brett Johnson, the owner.
Yep.
So both of them I've been in touch with. Brett Johnson was all over it and said, David, I'm glad that you're working with Dave Pert on this. Let's get it done. And so and the article from Soccer America just talks about how he got into all of this soccer, which is he didn't grow up playing soccer. He wasn't gifted with that like I was, but he got into soccer in the same place I did, except he was 22 and I was 8, London. So after he graduated from Brown, he and his buddy, they said they just went on a trip to Europe and they ended up in London. They were working there. Working there for a couple of years, and they got the bug in them. They got the itch for soccer. And when I say itch, it's interesting because Brett Johnson is also a minority owner of Ipswich Club which plays currently in the championship division of the English League, which is second division, but they're right near the top of the table.
Yeah.
So yes, he is behind this. He said to me, work with Dave and get this done. We have some people on the staff also at RIFC who I'm working with because we're getting some donations of stuff also, because to make this work, we have to guarantee sales of a certain number of tickets, which we will do. Because opening up that park is not cheap. They got to do the staff, they got to turn on the lights. So, you got to have your security doing your parking. It's not cheap, but Rhode Island Soccer Association has, I would say by email and a couple of phone calls, guaranteed the purchase of the first 1 to 200 tickets. So after that is done and it's confirmed, probably later in this week, we'll have an actual confirmation that it should be happening at the game on the 13th. So I'm encouraging everybody, if you're a fan, obviously make it to the game. If you're not, think about tickets. You can get them online. And if it works out also, they're going to create a contribution barcode, which will be available in the stadium. If while you're there, you'd like to put in 50, 20, $100 into the fund that is then going to be turned over to us to send stuff to Cape Verde. So we've got some really good stuff done. And, this, for a team to do that, we know nothing like that will ever happen in Foxborough. because, that money is not going to go anywhere. We won't say anywhere where it will go, but here what's going to happen is going to go to Cape Verde. And, one of the biggest selling points, and it's not even a selling point, Brett Johnson is a human guy, and so is Dave Pert. It really didn't take much to sell them. They both said, we got to do it. And
that's fantastic news.
You think about it, you've got a stadium, it seats 10, 12,000. There are going to be some kids there, come with their folks. And especially in the community in Pawtucket, there's a large Cape Verdean community. So you're going to see kids, nephews, grandkids of fans coming in with them. They'll never forget this game because afterwards, all the guys from the community played on the field.
Yeah.
So
that's fantastic. It's actually great to see that they are in total support of pretty much anything that has to do with the community. And you got to give them credit for this as an organization. You got to give them credit.
No, absolutely. I don't want any credit, and as Ernesto Lopes, and I when I saw these videos about 2.5 weeks ago, I said, we got to do it. I got a obviously biased reason also. My wife was born in Cape Verde, and she and I have been there like 3 or 4 times. Yeah. It's a great country, and it's like, it's got to get done. And, there's nobody sitting there waiting for it. The Red Cross ain't out there. Whatever is out there, they're not just waiting to do this. Fingers crossed, there's some possibility. And there's, some politics behind this, which is not always good these days, that we might get a little bit of supply sent from the U.S. government there. There's no guarantees.
Yeah, we'll see about that.
There's a possibility. Without getting no politics, we're sports.
It would be nice if the outreach went to MLS as well. That would be really nice. Because I know, we get on, being in Foxborough, but Robert Kraft does do a lot for charities, and he does use his plane to transport it, to hurricane reliefs and stuff like that. So he has been known to do it, but I don't know if there's really anything, that he's invested in out there. So that might,
All I can say is the previous generation of presidents of the club, not the current one, I had a lot of contact with. His name is Craig Thornburg. And Craig was a good guy. Craig was out there to try to do things to the community. Craig's long gone from that position. The current, let's call it the current management, is not so much into community relations. That's as nicely as I can put it. They want to sell tickets, and they want to sell tickets to youth leagues, and that works sometimes. But RIFC, you've got some youth players come, and you've got all the adult players coming, and all grandpas, grandmas, everybody goes.
Yeah.
So it's a real family thing, which is pretty neat for Rhode Island. And as I say, I will, as soon as I know, I'll hopefully be able to put it into an electronic link and then send it to you, confirming this. The date, which should be on the 13th, after the game is finished at RIFC Stadium, which I'm going to tell you right now. 1 second. I have to look up my app. Everything's in an app these days. Hold on. I can also tell you, and I'm not pushing sales, but I can tell you most of the tickets get sold online. And most tickets that are sold online go through but you may be aware of, it's a seat app. It's SeatGeek. So if you go to that app, you can always find tickets for games. Good. That game on the 13th, I will tell you who's playing. On the 13th, they are playing, Rhode Island FC is playing the Indy 11. Good club, Indianapolis. They played once this year, and I'm not sure if it was a tie or a loss for us, but they've got a nice club. I can also tell you in the past week, RFC has brought in 2 new players. One's last name is Atkinson. He is a Jamaican player. He's got a lot of good experience. He's a scorer, and he scored a goal in their last game, which won the game for them. They also signed another young African player. I don't have the name right now, who actually was playing, I believe, either in Qatar or Saudi Arabia for a year or two. He's coming in, another attacker. And that's exactly, and we've talked about this last couple of weeks, what they need is goals. So
Yeah.
I think they recognize that, signed one Jamaican player, signed another one. I think I'm trying to remember which country he is from, but he was playing in Saudi or Qatar last 2 years. So one, he's probably made a little bit of money, but two, he's got to be a good ball player. And he is. I looked him up online. I'll send you off his name when I have it. I'll send you the name of both of the players, the actual names, and they're both should be on the roster now.
So looking at their past couple of games, it was Wednesday that they won the game 1-0.
Yeah.
They just lost this Saturday to Hartford at Hartford 3-0, and that was a big loss because Hartford has jumped over 3 teams and have pushed RIFC down to the 9th spot out of the playoffs.
Oh yeah. No,
So
the few games are really important, I think.
yeah, and it was a big loss on top of that because their next game this Saturday is against second place Charleston Battery.
Yes.
So that's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, I think I've seen them play Charleston. Charleston is good. The week after, on the 6th, they're playing against Louisville City, who actually may have actually been in one. They were in first place or second place last year.
Yeah, they're first place this year right now.
Yep. So I said the 13th is the Indy 11, and
it's a tough schedule coming up.
It is, and then after
they need some wins.
They got to win on the October 5th again, home Las Vegas. October 11th, home versus Tampa Bay Rowdies.
You only got 9 games left.
Yep. So they
next week is second place. The week after is first place. Those are tall orders. But they got to grab a win on one of those.
Absolutely.
They have to.
No, this is the time of year, especially where they are we call it the standings or the table. This is the time.
They're sitting in 9th place, 5-10-6. They are 1 win, 2 losses, and 2 draws in their last 5.
Mm-hmm.
That's got to get better. The good news is, Indy 11 is the team that they're chasing, who is 6-9-5, and they've lost 4 of their last 5.
Yeah,
so that is a winnable game, and they need that when they play them.
It's a big game for both teams.
Yeah. That is definitely playoffs. Just a heartbreaking loss to Hartford. That was a tough one because Hartford is hot right now. 4 wins and a draw in its last 5, and they just passed up a whole bunch of teams in this past week. And that's a tough one. I mean, you can't lose that game.
Absolutely.
And it's the problem is scoring.
Yeah.
They either win 1-0 or lose like 2-1 or 2-0 or something, And you got to score goals.
It's the name of the game worldwide. Is you got to put the ball in the net, and it's the hardest thing to do on the field. But you got to put it in the net.
Oh, it is. It is, and it mirrors the United States team too, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're talking World Cup. They have a hard time scoring goals, and it's hard to overcome that against superpowers.
It's interesting. They have a few players who not always have they been in their top form or been playing. I mean, they've got one young player who I think I'm enamored by. His dad was a great player going back 25 years ago. His name is Timmy Weah. And Timmy Weah is an electric kind of player who plays wide out on the wing. He's fast. He's got change of pace. He's got great ball skills. And last year, I know he was playing in Italy, and that's not an easy place to be playing ball as a foreign player always. I don't think he got a lot of playing time, but still he did okay. U.S. has a new coach over the last 8-9 months, and this is a real test for him, which is Mauricio Pochettino. And Pochettino's got, he's got a big background. He actually coached my favorite club for 3 years, which is Tottenham Hotspurs. Then he left. He coached at PSG, which is the biggest club in France and one of the biggest clubs in the world. Did okay there. At Spurs, he actually won. I think they got to the finals they got to the finals of something. They didn't win a cup. They did okay. So what we have to deal with on the U.S. side now also is that for U.S. soccer, and I talk about the community out here, the people who play or the kids who play, parents, administrators, referees, it's an important time when the World Cup is here. It is anywhere, any country where the World Cup is. Everyone wants to win. And the impact of winning can be tremendous on the country's participation and their future success. So this coming year is huge for the U.S. Yeah. It's a lot of stress, but it's it is what it is. I mean, I did send you a list of some of the players who were around.
Yeah, I went and I looked at the current roster. Mm-hmm. They got some guys that have other commitments, which is surprising because it's World Cup stuff, right? But I can see them coming in, next year before the World Cup, and everything will be all good with them, right?
Right.
But the roster as it looks now, it has a kind of mix between MLS players and players that are playing, overseas. I think there's some talent there. There's no like, wow, this guy is awesome kind of thing. He's not. You're not gonna find a Lionel Messi there. But there are guys that can put up some points.
That is true.
There are guys that can get it done, and you just look at the players from the MLS, and you got Brian White and Diego Luna, who can score goals. They're not, the top guys, but Brian White has got 14 goals this season for MLS, and he's tied in 7th place. So that's not too bad.
No, and I can give you some comment on a few of these guys. Diego Luna, I first saw him on TV about 3 years ago at a U20 World Cup qualifier. Yeah. Diego Luna has got he's got skills with the ball that we don't always get in the U.S. He could carry the ball, he can cut it, turn it. He is really we'd call it soccer. He's a highly technical player. So I'm hoping, you don't know. It depends on what form you're in when you're getting the competing cup. I'm hoping he gets some good playing time. Our goalkeepers it's going to be, Matt Turner, who everybody knows. He played for the Revs for years. He was in England for a few years. He's very good. I'm not sure that he is what we would call world class. We have a very good couple of keepers. I don't think we have one that's like, this guy's a star. Turner's good. Turner's very good, and I guess he's back playing with the Revolution again because they didn't keep him in England. Also, Zach Steffen, maybe. He was here, had a great run with the MLS, and then he was in England for a few years and didn't get any playing time. This is one of the hard things. People go to Europe for the top level, but if you don't get to play, you're not in good form. So it'll be interesting to see. There also, I'll tell you some other interesting comments on some players that I'm well aware of. Serginho Dest, very high level. You can see him. He was not there in June, but he's likely to be on the roster. He plays in the Netherlands for PSV. He's played at Barcelona. He's very, very technical outside defender who attacks with the ball. He's got a high level of skills. He is a guy who's a defender who can score. Let me just give you a couple more. So Anthony Robinson, I've seen him play. He's playing in Eindhoven in the Netherlands right now, PSV Eindhoven. He played at Fulham for several years. I saw him play at Fulham a few years ago, and at the time he was playing with another center back from Houston, and I'm not sure if they've got him listed, Tim Ream. Tim Ream is the old man on the roster. He's about 35, 36. He's got all of the game intelligence that you develop.
Yeah.
He sits back in the middle, he defends well, and he distributes from the back. He's got a nice 35, 40-yard ball or pass, and he distributes it really well, and he moves people around. He's the interesting thing about Tim Ream, when we went to see him in Fulham, I guess we saw him in Fulham in 22. The fans loved him in Fulham, and they really liked what's his name, Anthony Robinson, who's also mentioned here. But every time that Tim Ream touched the ball, and it's a small stadium where Fulham plays. It's called Craven Cottage. It seats about 25,000. So they got about 20,000 there. Every time Tim Ream touched the ball, a big roar would go around the stadium. Would go, Ream. They loved him every day, and you just hear it going around the stadium, almost like a wave. Yeah. He was loved there. He grew up as a player in England. He was there for about 10, 12 years. And I mean, if he's fit, he's 36 next year. It's not too old to play that back in the middle. It's not too old to play goalkeeper either, but we'll see about that. I mentioned.
They got Malik Tillman from Eindhoven too. I mean, he's got 26 matches this year, 12 goals. So that's not too bad. Last year, 28 and 9. So he's actually improved, already from last year. So I think that's going to help a little. Guys that have the talent to get goals, you need a bunch of those kind of guys that can chip in. So it doesn't necessarily have to, you don't have to get the ball to one guy.
Yeah, true.
You have a group of players that can do it. And I also noticed Haji Wright is on the roster.
Haji Wright is a talented scorer.
Coventry City's playing in right now, and he's played 74 matches with 31 goals over there. That's pretty good. A goal every 2 games, I'll take that.
Interesting thing about Haji Wright, he came up very early. He was playing in what was kind of like a second division in the U.S. when he was 15 or 16 years old down in New York. Yeah. And it was in that league, he was scoring a bundle of goals. The most interesting thing is we had a local player around here who played in the old American Soccer League, which I ran a club in, which was the Rhode Island Oceaneers. And we had a player on that team whose name, and I might as well promote him. Everybody who knows soccer in this area will know what I'm talking about. Is known as Isaac Nana Adai. Isaac was a Liberian kid, brilliant player, and Haji Wright's his first cousin. So they both come from the same family. They both come from some hard times. Isaac Adai, he grew up in refugee camps during the Liberian Civil War in Ghana. And he got discovered and by some big clubs. He almost was going to get a shot in Europe, but he came to the U.S. because his mom was here. So he grew up with tremendous talent. We still have some of that talent just coming up, and some of it we want to see at RIFC over the next few years. If they are developing young, which I am hoping also by the end of the year, RIFC will have begun what they call their charity, in quotes, their nonprofit. And we'll start looking, and they'll start looking for younger players to train, give opportunities, young kids too. And I think if it gets off the ground well, we're going to be providing through it, and I hope to be working in the nonprofit, some educational opportunities and training opportunities with professional coaching. So it's a big future around here in soccer.
Yeah, I mean, look, this United States team, it doesn't have that wow factor, right? But it has some guys that are capable. And
we got Pulisic. We got Pulisic, and we've got Weah. Two potential big scorers. But there's more around too. I mean, there are a couple of other younger players who are not in this list. Who played MLS, scored a lot, have gone over. There's a kid who's playing I'm trying to think of his name, who's playing in England right now. Young player, played in Germany and England. The name's passing me right now. He's a redhead. And I think he plays for Norwich. and he is also a nice scorer. He's just never had that breakout on the national team. He gets called in, has a decent game, hasn't had the breakout where like puts 3 away in a game or something. But there's talent out there. It's really a question of developing, and the question will be, is this coach going to be the one to put it together? Whether Pochettino is going
you
to
kind of hope so. Between the players that we've talked about, and then you add in MLS players like Quinn Sullivan, Jack McLinn, and Sebastian Berhalter. I mean, these guys can make some plays and spring somebody open, and you never know what could happen. You never know. That's why they play the games, right?
Oh yeah, yep.
So there are some talented players here. They're not the wow names that everybody wants to see, but we did have a miracle on ice once before. Now we need the miracle on the pitch.
I think right now, miracle is a long stretch because of the level of talent in the world. But if we can get into the quarterfinals, which we've done before, I think we did it in either 1990 or 2002. I think in Korea, and we had a big game there. I think either we tied or beat Portugal at one point. It was a huge match. But the next step up is where it's got to go, and some of that really depends upon your big league here, which is MLS. And I think you could see from that article I sent off to you on Brett Johnson, USL in 2 years is going to start a system of play. That is what's done all over Europe, which is promotion relegation. And my opinion, and a lot of people's opinions, that is what encourages more competition. It encourages more investment by ownership to develop and acquire talent, as opposed to just sitting back and seeing if you can win and stuff like that, which a lot of MLS is right now. So there are a couple of teams developing some young players. But I think this is the whole idea. The model is bring in young kids, develop them, get their loyalty, train them well, and eventually, I mean, realistically,
how you start it.
You go up to the second team, maybe you get a couple of starts for the big team, and you may get sold to a big European club and get a big contract too.
Yeah.
So that's going to start in 2 years, and I know that the ownership at RIFC is committed to it because it's a bigger investment of money.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's wrap things up with the Rhode Island Super Cup. Look, I mean, there's been some great games. If you haven't gone to see any of these matches in Rhode Island, you really should get out there, support these teams. First off, we'll start with the Cranston Portuguese Club and Mexico played to a 2-2 draw in week 14.
Yes.
Edwin Hernandez Santos scored in the 60th minute, and then Vladimir Bernal scored in the 68th minute, giving Mexico the 2-2 draw. They rallied from down 2-0 and got 2 goals late to tie it up. Eric Bogosian and Joseph Cidade scored for Cranston Portuguese Club. So 2-2 draw. Mexico, what a comeback. Final 10 minutes of the game or so. Maybe not 10 minutes, but the comeback is massive for them. That's a great thing. Also playing to a draw, Sao Nicolau and the CRCP Warren Soccer Club played to a 1-1 tie. Garcias Neves Cabral, who I mentioned last week, he scored again for Nicolau. And then Ryan Maduro, who was also a PC alumni player and a former DC United draftee for Warren Soccer Club. And that was a 1-1 draw.
Hey, I'm going to add something about Ryan Maduro, which is not here from Kaba, but years ago with this Rhode Island Oceaneers team we had, which is in 2014 and 15. Ryan was the captain of our team. And played for us. He was a great ball player. We had some other great players also, a couple from PC, a couple of foreign players. But Ryan, he showed people how to play ball when we had him for that year and a half. And a great ball player, and he's still hanging on and doing it.
There we go. That's what we want to hear.
Yeah.
Play until your legs fall off.
It's worth watching him play if you're a kid. He's still got it.
That's good. That's great. Dynamo Morabeza won 4-1 over the Shamrocks. Nuno Martins, who I've mentioned a couple of times already on this show, had 2 more goals. Andre Antunes and Louis De Pina also scoring for Dynamo Morabeza. And Antonio Morena scored the lone goal for the Shamrocks.
Yeah.
Morabeza is a good team.
And
Nuno Martins is pretty good.
Dinamo Morabeza, or it used to be called just Dinamo, but the Dinamo Morabeza, their club has been around for probably about 15 years at least, playing adult men.
Yeah.
So they've some really good ball players. They've won some championships. They've been up and down, but they've got a really nice club.
Yeah. Now, Kaba didn't send me a game. I'm taking it that they didn't video any of the games this week.
I think not. I don't know. It may have been that Kaba has been doing a lot of the videoing. I think he ended up at the last minute having taken one of the games to actually referee.
Yeah.
He's also Kaba's a real good ref. So if someone calls in, can't make it, or something like Kaba will do that. I will mention it to him over this week. See who we can get.
Yeah, let him try to get me. If he can get me a game, I can air it tomorrow or Thursday. That would be great.
Okay.
The
guys.
Final game.
Yep.
No, go ahead, David.
No, I'm saying the guys, if they get a chance, they love watching them too. So.
I'm sure. Yeah. I'm sure. I love airing them. That's what I want. As many as I can get. It doesn't matter what the level is. I mean, everybody wants to see themselves,
sure.
on air somewhere. All right, the final game of Week 14, PCFC Renegades 6-2 win over Santo Antão. That's a big win. They're a good team.
They are, and unfortunately, I can't identify which player it is, but I've seen the Renegades play once, and actually they had a game probably about 3-4 weeks ago, and they kind of got beat up pretty bad by Academico, which is a real strong club. But I was watching them play, and one of the players was really, really good for the Renegades.
I know who it is, and I'm going to mention them.
Okay.
First off, Glenn McCrory scored 2 quick goals in the 6th and 16th minutes. And from then on, it was all Kyle Babehani. That's got to be the guy you're talking about, because he got 4 goals in this one. And he scored a couple last week, too, as well.
I'm going to find out, and I'll let you know by next week, because there's one guy who I saw play for that team, and they were getting beat up bad. So a month ago. And he just was in it, and he was giving Academica, which is a great team, a hard time. I talked to him afterwards. I said, listen, I grabbed him. I said, I want to compliment you. You're a good ball player. I said, where'd you grow up playing? And he let me know. He went to the Naval Academy. He played varsity at the Navy. So this could be the same guy, and we'll find out if it's him.
Yeah, Kyle Bahani scored 3 goals last week.
So that could be him. I'll find out.
And then he got 4 more this week.
Yeah, I'm going to find out, because he's done some good stuff. He served time afterwards. So
RIFC better take a look at this guy.
Yeah. So he's still got some stuff.
He's still got something, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
He still has it. That's a goal scorer right there. That's pretty nice. When you can get 7 goals from a guy in 2 weeks.
Exactly.
Can't argue with that. You win a lot of games when you can do that.
Yep, true that.
So that is the league. Look, you got to get out there, and let me tell you, I would probably check out a Renegades game.
I agree. The Renegades are good. I'll tell you who I for sure Renegades and Academica.
Oh,
They,
those two. In the short time, David, the short time that I've been doing this with you, it's been those two teams that are just seem to be powerhouses.
Hey, and each one of them will have at least 3 or 4 players in this select team game we put on.
Yeah. So you got to check out, get tickets for that. That's coming up in a couple of weeks. So get on it. Go out, check out some of these teams, and all these fields around, the state.
Yeah.
Support these teams, please support them. And especially those Cape Verdean teams that are out there, support them just by going.
Absolutely.
They would appreciate it, really, seriously. So, David,
Yeah.
it's another week come and gone.
Another week. As soon as I've got some definite on that fundraiser on the 13th, I'll get it to you.
Absolutely. I want to thank you for being here, David, and of course, I want to thank everybody that has been watching, and that will be watching the show throughout this week. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to follow, share, support in any way you can, and support Rhode Island Soccer, especially.
Yeah.
And go ahead, David.
I got a quote, an old motto from Umbro, which is a manufacturer. They used to print shirts with a big sun on it, and it said, "The sun never sets on soccer."
There we go. See? That's a great way to end the show.
Yeah.
We will see everybody next week. Have a great week.
You too, Ron. Thanks a lot.